What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of Dancing with God, where we share powerful stories of how God is moving through dance and changing lives one step at a time. We're excited today. I have someone who's been doing an amazing work in the arts, drawing attention around the globe, bringing the gospel to the nations. I have Ivan here from GX International. And the audience is screaming, yeah,
Hey,
Ivan.
wow.
Man, it is great to have you on the
Thank
show. I've known about the work that you have been doing. Word in Motion Dance Company was mildly involved in some of the
Definitely.
choreographic presentations you guys have done
Yep.
probably over a decade ago. And it's good to revisit such an amazing ministry. So we're excited to have you on the show. So for people who never heard of GX International, go ahead and give us the mission, share from your heart what you guys are doing because you've been doing it for
Um,
over 29 years or close to 30. GX International has existed. So you've been doing it. You've been doing it. God's been using y'all. So
yeah.
go ahead and share a little bit.
So once again, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be talking to you and to your audience. But yeah, man, I cannot say I am the founder because I'm not. But I've been part of in some sort of GX for a long time. GX stands for Global Expression. As actually in the beginning, used to be more focused to the Generation X. So
Yeah.
it used to be called Generation X, but that Generation X grew up, and so that they around about some years ago they switched to a more abroad definition. But we are missions organizations. We are partners with YWAM, which is one of the largest mission organizations in the world. That stands for Youth of a Mission. But we use the culture, hip hop culture, the skateboarding culture, and different extreme sports,
Yeah.
and we use that to tailor and to tell our stories, and also to tell the story of the gospel. And throughout schools, neighborhoods, nations, we go all over, and using that to not just to entertain, but also to bring that question into, hey, what are you doing with your life? What are you choosing?
Yeah.
And we have actually started in 1997. Was let's say the first organized tour that happened was in 1997, around January, February 1997. So next year is our 30-year anniversary.
Love it.
So it's a really honor to me to carry the flag and carry on the story of this amazing ministry. Yeah, it's been in a lot of places, in a lot of countries, in a lot of schools, in a lot. It's just hard to unpack everything. So many people. I will explain a little bit as we go. But so how it came to be, and how people got involved, how you guys got involved. So it's a connector of dancers, connector of artists that have the same desire to bring the gospel through the arts. And yeah, so it's a little bit. It's this is what GX is all about.
It's amazing, and the impact has been incredible. You've
Right.
been around for 30 years because of the fruit, so
Correct.
we
Correct.
we we understand nothing's gonna last that long unless it's producing something that
Amen.
is continuing to draw people closer to Christ, and so,
Yes.
what an amazing work, and I know you probably have pivoted, like, this is how we're gonna, do our presentation,
Yeah.
throughout the years, it's been different.
Yeah.
Um, I know you guys have had break dancers and
Yeah.
freestylers.
Yeah.
We've done some choreography for y'all
Yeah.
back in the day, and I'm sure you've had other choreographers.
Yeah.
But t just explain to the audience what is a typical outreach? What does that
Awesome.
look like overseas? What would be like the sequence of a structured performance
Yeah.
that will ultimately lead people's hearts, open to Christ?
Yeah. So the way that they have developed from the beginning, actually, the first couple years was very rough. just to figure it out. Like, hey, how can
Of
we
course.
actually be good communicators? How can we use our testimonies in a good way? How can we preach and be relevant and not just being bubbling or condemning and say, you're gonna die. You need to say Jesus. Know what I mean? So like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
and we need to also understand the timing. Like we're talking about the late '90s, beginning of 2000s. There's a
yeah.
shift, huge shift on society. Things are changing. So the entertainment was such a big deal at that time, especially because we didn't have social media. We didn't have podcasts. This is didn't exist back then. So
Yeah.
the way it was genius, I believe it was God intended just the way that He download these ideas to the people at the time to tailor a really awesome way to connect with the audience.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the ways was through the dances, through the lyrics of the music, through the stories of our lives, and also through the preaching. There was developed a sequence of events. So normally, how it works, we always have a MC or a master of ceremony that really tied up the audience to what's going on, especially when we went to small towns or countries that didn't have so much openness to entertainment. We will get man. It was like you give a little candy to a kid. It's like, what? Okay, some of them, for example, skateboard, never seen skateboard. Some of them never seen a breakdancer doing air flares and other things
Yeah.
like that. So, like, or like a popper doing a robot or something. You know what I mean? Like, so they're not familiar. They see that maybe on TV, because that's what we had. So the MC, you bring that energy, and throughout that, so we normally have on the show is a different on schools. What we call school assemblies, it just different because it's smaller,
Yeah.
and independent on the place, we do if we can actually say the word God or Jesus or
Yeah.
there's some places we can't. So, but on the show we can. So the show always we can because that's our show. So normally the MC, then we use rapping as well. So the rapper will
Awesome.
come, the DJ will play with some of the tracks, and in between that there's a dance, and that dance normally, if we're talking about school, it's gonna be electrical dance. It's gonna be like a right on your face, kind of like explosions of all kinds of
Oh,
style,
yeah.
and that's what we try to do. Was always a medley of dances, because we ended up having so many different backgrounds of dancers. So it was not just hip hopper, it was or freestylers. We will have like modern dancers. We will have jazz dancers and some even ballerinas. So we needed to combine all that. So
Yeah.
let me tell you, was a fun moment because seeing the ballet or the jazz kind of break down their structure and to fit the positions or fit the style. So
Yeah.
it was so much fun. That's for sure. But we're trying to tailor on the song various different styles, very different styles of dancing, of music, because those are the way that you can communicate almost to every person on the audience, right? Not everybody would like just hip hop so we're added different songs, different styles, and that really helped because it made a connect. And
Yeah.
then right
Smart.
after the dance or something, we'll have a time of talking. So that's we try to always be very dynamic. No more than 3 minutes. We knew that how much the spam of attention was so they will lose so much of that spam of attention. So we always train we always train everybody to really practice that to answer three questions. What what was where were you at? What happened? And what are you now? So they needed to answer those three questions in 3 minutes and give a little scope of their story. Could be like in a moment, or could be like uh, A to B, or could be like just something happened in my family. So whatever it was, they had those questions to answer, and so we always had them really connected with the public, because that was our point. The point, the
Yeah.
dance was there, the skating was there, yeah, the rapping was, that was awesome, but we wanted them to connect because we had a message, and that message was important. And so after that, we always play with the freestyling, and so we'll bring some of the dancers to showcase some techniques, or showcase
Yeah.
some different things that they may never seen it before. And and then go to another dance, go to another skate moment, and then we'll have maybe another testimony, and then we'll close with a message. Sometimes, because we couldn't actually speak the word Jesus or do something like that, we all of that was, we would either extract those things and put a friend or something, or kind of go towards more of a positive message. And then on the show, then we'll be more explicit to actually, hey,
Yeah.
why I turned around, why I did the 180, right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, so that was kind of like the
Mhm.
structure. Even the only difference for the show, it's more artistic. So because we have the videos, we have the costumes, we have props, it changed a little bit more, because we try to tell the story of the gospel,
Yeah.
which then we split into 5 points, which is the creation of the universe, the fall, the redemption part of Christ, or what Christ came to do, our response to that, and the eternal of that, like what is the separation of God and what is be with God. So that was on the show. So we, throughout the dances, we're telling the story. Throughout the testimonies, we're telling the story. All of that until the end, when is the choice. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of like
Oh, good.
how it has been. And again, that was not us. Now it's been since the inception. I'll say probably the second year. They really nail it down. Like God really gave this download of structure,
Yeah.
and boom, like
Yeah.
everything changed.
Why change it? I mean, it's working.
Yeah,
It's effective.
yeah,
It's fruitful.
yeah,
God is using it mightily. I
yeah,
mean, I've seen some of the things that you guys have done, like
uh,
even with the skaters, it's explosive, it's so
yeah,
radical, it's full
yeah,
of energy,
yeah,
and it does draw someone's attention. And I think when you win someone's attention, when you win an audience attention, they become more vulnerable, they become open, they lean in, they want to listen even more, just because you've done something artistically,
yeah,
and we respond as human beings, we respond to things that are presented artistically. And so then you fuse it with all these testimonies of real life people like, "Hey, you saw me dance, you saw me skate, but
yeah,
here's my story,"
yeah.
and
Goosebumps.
yeah, it's
Yeah, those
incredible.
pumping is just saying, like, but yeah. Anyways,
No, it's so powerful, it's so powerful. Just to have you on to share that much was just worth anyone tuning in,
yeah,
because for them to see what GX International has been doing
oh, man,
and will continue to do,
yeah,
because the formula is perfect. The method that God has created, the blueprint, it doesn't need to be changed. You've gone through generations and you've gone through decades, and people are still offering a listening ear, opening their hearts because of what you guys have created,
yeah,
and the story, the parable from creation to, hey, here's what eternity might look like.
yeah,
What choice will you make? So they can wrestle with that question.
yeah,
They can respond then, or
yeah,
have a seed to respond later, but at least you've asked the question. You can
yeah.
pack up, go to the next city, continue the tour, knowing that you asked the question.
The
You
question, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and that now it's up to the individual to figure those things out with
Yeah,
the Lord, hopefully with the Lord.
yeah. Amen. So we try not, hey, leave this place with a certainty. It's either you did say yes or you say no. That way, well, let's make sure, like, because then we don't want them. I can afterwards, I can share some stories of but yeah, because we want them to really grasp the reality of those decisions.
Yeah, yeah. As the current director, what stories have impacted you that you still remember? It moved you, or you saw a decision made that you didn't expect? I know there's many. You're going through the
Now
library of
that
your
yeah,
mind.
I always imagine the Inception, not Inception. Oh my gosh, forgot the name of the movie now. It's a animation, but the little girl with the
Oh, what is this
you know what
movie?
I'm saying? The
Inside Out.
Inside Out. So I'm like right there. My person in my brain, it's going through the memories like, oh yeah, look at this, what happened. Look at yeah. So
Yeah, just
whatever.
shuffling through.
Yeah,
But
I'm very picture. So that everything for me, I mean, I think normal all the artists I like that they see the motion happening.
yeah,
So that's me. I see everything happening.
my
Uh
wife's like that too, and you both have another thing in common. You're both from Brazil, so
Brazil.
born and raised in Brazil.
That that yeah, that adds the flavor, a little the flavor.
Hey, I know I've been living 28 years with flavor, so
Bless you.
I know what the Brazilians bring. I know what Brazilians bring.
Man, but man, stories. Oh my gosh, there's plenty. I would narrow down two stories.
Yes.
First, let me tell a story about my life because that's a story it's itself, and it tied up to where I'm at today. But very short, I joined the ministry in 2001. I was 17. I was still in high school. I was actually on my junior year of high school in 2001,
Wow.
and I had this just the beginning of that year, January. God had given me like literally a blueprint of my calling, of that I would be using arts, dancing, and I would be going around the United States and going around the world sharing the gospel. But I was like, how I'm gonna do that? And I had that question, and
Yeah.
then not long after I met the GX, at first I was just coming out of church dancing. I was still not really involved in dance studios. I was still not really actually going that direction. I was just like doing basic moves.
Street dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got to at the tour, meet everybody, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, couple days in of boot camp, I'm cannot get anything. Picking up the dances was absolutely horrendous to me. I didn't know how to do a turn. I didn't know how to. No, I mean, because I did not have that. I did not have the skills,
Yeah.
and that shocked me. And one of the things they needed to do with me was like, "Hey, Yvonne, unfortunately, you can go home." They did it in such a nice way. It was, well, I think that was the beginning of my victory because
Mm,
the way that they inspire me to not stay where I was and
yeah.
to grow, that changed my life. I remember leaving. We are staying in this church. We are doing the dance, the practices in this place, and I crossed the street to remember the payphones.
Yes, I do.
So I did a collect call to my dad, and then my dad was always my the the guy. He was there for me in every moment. And we're talking, I was crying. I was so emotional. And
Mm,
then my dad said, "Hey, remember what God told you.
mm,
What are you there for?"
mm,
And I say, "Dad, I'm for me to learn, for me to dance. But I don't get it." And I said, "Okay, so keep trying." And I remember we decided I'm gonna stay. I'm not gonna go back home, and then I'm gonna try. So they challenged me. So say, hey, remember the school assemblies? So we have specific dances for school assemblies, and we have specific dances for shows. So and then they told me, we have two. You're gonna focus on those two and nothing else. So all right. So 8 days goes by. I finally got the dance. Whew, it was tough. Like for me, just coming out of no structure whatsoever and learning how to turn like a bunch of stuff that I never had. A whole month goes by. We're performing so many places. We see so many people come to Christ. The show was amazing. So my experience just changed. And I remember my choreographer said, Ivan, do never look back and think that was a failure. Look forward and
Mm.
go after the skill. You have it. You just need to do it.
Yeah.
So I remember leaving the tour, and I started looking for a dance studio. Started doing and ballet. I started with ballet, and then I did jazz, and then I finally found hip hop more specific. Started studying all the styles, and that really changed my life. I went to college, did all my stuff. And in 2009, I never lost contact with GX, but in 2009, I'm like, God's like, said, now is the time to
Mm.
go back. And that, to be exact, 9 years later, the ministry falls in our lap.
Mm.
And me and my wife is Hawaiian. She's
Hey.
Hawaiian Samoan, and she is a hula dancer. So she also
Woo.
artistic and to the Polynesian culture. So she is incredible dancer, and so we all share both worlds. So it was awesome to us. I kind of mashed this beautiful blueprint, and then but yeah, 8 years later, after I become a staff, boom,
Yeah.
that it got in my lap, like, oh well, what am I gonna do now?
I will say this because your story is pretty incredible. Just because I think people listening would take that as such an inspirational moment. Because most people would feel rejected. You believe you're called, you think God has called you to this, and you enter into the process of it, and they're saying, "Hey, you need to refine some of your ways of picking up choreography."
Yep.
And instead of just saying, "You know what? These people are not accepting me, they're not helping me," you went through the development stage, and
Hmm.
a lot of people will not take that moment and embrace it as an opportunity to train and get better and sharper and
Yeah.
more excellent in their gifting. And you did that, and look where you are now. You're the director of GX
Heck,
International.
th-
But if you took that moment as rejection and as failure, and you decided to take another path or choose something differently, you would have missed out on what God is doing. So I think that is such a monumental moment, a pivotal moment in your life that people need to think about, because I know a lot of people are probably experiencing opportunities that they thought
yeah,
was God, and it feels like rejection at the moment, but it's really God just saying, okay, you need to take a few more steps before you actually enter into this calling.
hundred
And
percent.
so that your story is amazing. It really is. It's inspiring. Uh, and by the way, tell your wife I grew up in Hawaii, so I love that
Yep.
culture. Hula is powerful in ministry. My wife and I were there at a church, and the hula dancers came out during worship, and this was like maybe 20 years ago.
Wow.
And Ari and I were crying because 'cause they're like, "We've never seen anything like this." Just the movement with worship,
Mm.
was just incredible. We're like, "What is this?" Yeah, it was a while ago, but we still remember it as if it was yesterday. It was amazing.
Yeah, the connectivity of the culture with the soul. Um, it's hard to even to express because it's you. Yeah, you melt pretty much. It's
Yeah,
like it's a connection that it's hard to describe. I
it
have
is.
I have one way that I can describe is because I love house dance, and I literally I can go into the heavens as a house dance music comes on. Oh, I can feel it from my tippy toes all the way to my head. I'm like, let's go. It's like, yeah,
Come on.
I'm a weird like that. But now just to add to the story, like it wasn't
Yeah,
easy. It
yeah,
wasn't easy. Did I fail reject? I did. I am so thankful for those around me that and also I didn't listen to the norm, because the norm would be, oh yeah, you suck, yeah, don't do that, yeah, like go hide yourself. But I listened to those guys, and I listened to what God told me, like, hey, there was a direction, so
yeah,
go for it. And it took a long time, but it worth it. It was absolutely worth it, because now that's one of the number one things that, like, our staff and people that are around goes through. It's that uncertainty of what I'm gonna do. What do I
Yeah.
do? Or oh, there's a hurdle. I don't know what to do. Okay, next thing. Oh, it's another hurdle. Oh, I don't know what to do. It's like it's okay. Hurdles, no's are very important to life. And I think God gives no's as well. He does both, no's and yes. It's okay. And
Yeah.
so I'm super thankful because today, as I look back, the other day I was talking to the founder of GX. We had breakfast, and we're just reminiscing like some stories and some memories, people and things that we saw. And then I encourage him, say, his name is Bill. I say, Bill,
Yeah.
thank you so much for what you make me emotional, install in us,
Yeah.
because he has such a passion for young people. And
Mm.
one of the things that he always said, Yvonne, always look after them. One, because they're gonna fail. Second, you will need to be there when they fail. And
Mm.
third, you need to strengthen them to go to where they need to go. So yeah,
Woo! It's powerful. It's
it's
powerful.
it's much more than dance. And I
Yeah.
think that the dance, the connection that we get with our creator through dance, people don't realize that, and they try to box that in so many ways.
Yeah.
But it's like living and breathing. It's so powerful. It's so needed to the body of Christ. And so when I see artists that struggle with just the understanding that,
Mm.
hey, can I do this to God? I'm like, heck yeah. How can you even question that? Man, he created that. And so I'm very thankful for uh, um, this journey that I get to see in GX, because that was the first time I saw, man, a breakdancer, and a rapper, or a punk rock skateboarder, or like all in the same place, a worshiper, a just a normal person on the same place doing together.
Yeah.
And man, there's no money in this world that can buy that.
What you guys do is truly special, and Bill sounds like a legend,
He is
and
a legend, man.
just to carry the torch and carry the heart of that all these years, and to raise up people like you,
Yeah,
and to continue to disciple and pour into your life. That's what
yeah,
legends do. So it's incredible.
yeah. And I'll tell, like, let me tell one more story. There was this guy. He came to one of the shows. I don't remember where. Somewhere, I think in Ohio, maybe. And the day, like about a week before, he wanted to commit suicide.
Mm.
And he wanted to take his life, and that's it. He was bullied. He was just depressed. He didn't want anything else. And he actually tried. He actually tried and did not work. And then he saw at his school one of our shows, and we
Uh-huh.
were there. He got the flyer, and then it's like, hey, he liked the BMXing. We had some BMX guys on that tour, and he came to the show, and he responded to the gospel. He came forward. He committed his life to Christ, and such a powerful transformation of, like, people from the local church help him afterwards, connecting with groups and things like that. And then I don't remember the time, like if it was like a month after or something like that, but let's say it was a month after. One of our leaders received a message that that boy had passed away, got in a car accident and passed away. And so imagine, one, he was about to actually do something so hard, which was to take his own life. He didn't work. Then he find, like, man, I like that. I love BMX. I want to go see it. He goes to the show, have encounter with Christ, committed his life, and boom, and go see Jesus right after. Those things, it's what it fuels us. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It is
Amen.
100% worth it to see not just a story of like that boy, but to see many stories. I, I can tell you hours and hours of stories of people that we saw be transformed, And afterwards we hear all the things they either continue doing or they're how they're moving forward. So that's why I say it's so worth it. And I'm so thankful that we're not done. All the ups and downs, the changes of generations, the changes of society, the changes. Man, we went through decades, and especially on the most changeable. I don't know if that's going to be a correct English, but forgive me. But
Sounds good to me.
yeah, good. So it's the most changeable time in history was from the late the 90s to up to now.
Yeah.
It's from 1997 to now, almost by every year, there's something that have happened and something that transformed, changed in our society. So navigate that. It's not easy, but it's worth it because it's for Christ. It's not for us. It's not to put our oh, yeah, we did it everything. No, we did not. It was Jesus. It was completely God that put all those pieces together, put all those people together, and and the hardships, the victories, it was him. He walked with us throughout the whole time, and that's why we're here. And
Yeah.
so,
That might be the title to my next Bible study I teach. It's not easy,
but it's worth it.
but it's worth it.
100%.
I mean, it is. It's challenging. It's a struggle sometimes. It's not always gonna be easy,
Mm-hmm.
um, but even the difficult is worth it.
A bunch
Even
of
the challenges, even the setbacks, even the obstacles, the opposition, it's absolutely worth it. That's what the Apostle Paul declared. It's worth it. You
yep,
know, these are minimal things. He talked about his trials and his persecution. He says that it's just a light affliction. It's not that big of a deal
yep,
because he was looking at the worth. He was
yep.
looking at the eternal value. And so the worth always outweighs the hard. If you're going through something and you feel like, man, this is challenging. I feel like I'm pushing against a boulder that is not willing to move. It's going to be worth it. If God's calling you to do it, you continue to do it with all your might. Well, let's say with all his might that he gives you, but
Yeah,
it's absolutely positively worth it.
uh,
Whatever you're doing, whatever you're called to, just start with that. I know it's worth it because you're gonna hit roads, you're gonna hit valleys, you're gonna hit moments of despair and fatigue, and you have to remember this is worth it.
it is.
And your story and the stories that you shared with this amazing ministry, really defines people who believe it's worth it. Because
Yeah.
traveling and going to cities, raising up funds, there's a lot more than just, "Look, I'm
Oh, yeah.
talented. I wanna dance on stage." No, there's preparation in your spirit. There's a unity that needs to be created and built among the people. There's sacrifice. There's financial holdups because you gotta put your life on hold to prepare for ministry, and then there's the travel, and then there's the warfare in the cities that you are called to. And so you have to know that it's worth it. But GX International is amazing. It's an
Man,
extraordinary
appreciate it.
mission and extraordinary ministry. And I'm so glad that you're running the show, that God has
Right?
put you at the helm and you're directing an amazing group each and every time. Share with us, what are the plans in the future? Where's God taking you guys? Are you adding anything to the show artistically?
Oh, yeah. Almost all the time. We're trying, adjusting, especially because it changes so much throughout the years. But one of the things that we are trying now is connecting with the dance community, especially Christians that don't know that they can use that for missions. They
Yeah.
actually can use that. I mean, you don't need to be a full time. Let's say as a staff, that would be awesome. But we have either trips, we have different tours and things like that. Now we're trying to reach a new generation of dancers and Christians and people that really wants to use dance for missions. So that we still have not be able to break or to be in places, and but we're working on that, and we're still going really strong, not just here in Kansas City, but around the world, connecting with churches and group and organizations. For
Yeah.
example, in 2 weeks, we're going to Albania, in the eastern in the Balkans, just a little bit above Greece. It's around Kosovo and Macedonia. So we'll be there for a month in Albania. And we're taking a 23 people, mix of
Wow.
skateboarders, breakdancers, dancers, rappers, DJs, and we'll be doing school assemblies. So the same methods, doing a lot of square shows, and got to bring the gospel to Albania.
Wow.
So one some of the things that we are trying to really establish now is to connect with the current generation and give a platform for missions and for us to be more dance oriented missions. I don't know if is that correct in English, but because a lot of the churchgoers or Christian dancers, they don't know they have that kind of platform. You
Amen.
can use
Amen.
your God-given talent in dancing and rapping and even in lighting and
Yeah.
audio and so we need all that photography to, but yeah, so we're trying to bridge that gap. Like that's the biggest, you know.
If someone's watching and they're very interested in dance missions after hearing about what GX International does, how do they apply? I know we can
I-
leave links in the description if need be, but do you have that available online where they can
Yep,
inquire what you guys do and turn in an application and
yep,
see if they fit the mission?
yep.
See if they fit the time commitment, see if their talents are in that position where they can go and minister at the moment, or they might need more training. Is there a way to evaluate that? So, just share a little bit about that, um, because I don't want to close out this podcast without at least that invitation. So maybe you will begin to gain some recruits from this and gain a large body of resources
Hey, man.
to help with the next tour. So go ahead and share that part.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for that, brother. Thank you so much because that's we're trying to get out of our little zones. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I don't have many clones, so it's hard to be everywhere. So this helps a lot. But on our website, gxinternational.com, and there's a little tab, join us. There you can either join as a staff or either join for a tour. You can connect through all social medias, GX International as well, Instagram, Facebook. Also our email, contact at GX International. But yeah, so yeah, please send us a message. Don't, and this is just a tip, don't judge the book by the cover. Try first. And don't think, but I don't, but is it, no, just try. Let's talk. Sometimes is you already pre-build these expectations or something, and then,
Yeah.
no, let's just try.
Yeah. You might be a perfect fit. You might be a perfect fit. You just don't know. Maybe God's moving in your heart. You fill out an application. You find out. I don't know if me and GX International are a match made in heaven. And then maybe there's because you made that move, God will open a door maybe in your
Yeah,
city
yeah,
where you have a level of commitment that you could do for something that's different. But I like what you said. Try first. Just
yeah.
try.
And also not just to be involved, or even if we come to your town, something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, we would love to do something like that as well, like to come and do an outreach when you're surrounding and things like that. That we can talk about all of that, but yeah. So it's easy to find. We're always connected, and we're trying to keep up to date because it's hard. The thing moves and changes so fast, man.
And someone might
Uh,
be watching and they want to sow into world
Awesome.
missions. They can go to your website and donate as well.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a little tab there. Give. We're always looking for that.
Good, good. Yeah, you need that to
Yep.
get out there. But, thank you for being on the podcast. Been great talking to you. I think
Yeah.
we've been texting with each other
For
for, like
a year,
for a
huh?
while. Yeah,
Yeah.
for a while, and it's just great to have you, on the show and to be able to meet you and to know your background, your Brazilian background. My wife will be excited to hear
Come on.
about that, and, yeah. Man,
Awesome.
it's such a pleasure to know GX International exists. It's going to continue to
Um,
flourish and continue to do the great work for the Lord.
Come on.
So, again, thank you for being on the show. If anyone's watching and they need any information, I'm going to put all of it in the description. And that is about it. Thanks for tuning in to Dancing with God. God bless you.